Israel's defense minister says the military operation to destroy Hamas terror tunnels in Gaza has been successful as the UN Security Council gets ready to vote on a resolution to back Trump's peace plan. So far, the ceasefire has held as Israel gets ready to welcome back tourists and pilgrims this holiday season with festivities scheduled in Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus. Our very own Washington insider, Armstrong Williams, is headed to Israel this week to bring us reports from the Holy Land 2 years after those terrorist strikes began. Good morning to you, sir. Very excited for you. Certainly a bucket list for a lot of folks. I bet you are. Tell us about your trip and why you felt so compelled to go now.
Well, as soon as the hostages were freed, this last round, I just had this spirit come over me that we should just go over and talk to the hostages in the Holy Land, talk to their families, go inside the tunnels, go to the place where the massacres took place, talk to people what it's like to live in Israel now. What is it like now that a peace has come about because of President Trump? How do they feel about President Trump? How do they feel about their Arab allies? I just thought, as a broadcast owner, it would just be a great story to tell during the holidays. As you were discussing, they're opening up Jerusalem. We know they've been suffering as a result of tourists, and to tell that story and broadcast it during the holidays, not through the filters of someone else, but through our own broadcast lens. We have a bureau there, and I just plan to travel around for about 5 days all across Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. They'll tell the story that you don't normally hear in broadcast and in print, going behind the scene.
I love that. And I also love that you can show us and tell us what we aren't seeing on TV, because I feel like I'm not getting the whole picture sometimes when I watch some reports. So I can't wait to see all your reports from Israel. You know, New York City Mayor Eric Adams was there this past weekend where he met with political leaders to discuss the rise of anti-Semitism around the world. 2 months before New York's first Muslim mayor, a critic of Israel, is set to take his place. Adams said, quote, "If I were a Jewish New Yorker, I'd be concerned about my children." Do you believe, like Mayor Adams does, that the largest city in America risks falling into Islamic extremism because of Zohran Mamdani?
You know, it's not about whether you're Jewish. It's not about what you are. It's about humanity. It's what God expects us to be our brother's keeper. I mean, no different than the Holocaust and slavery. When people said nothing, these atrocities continue and lives are devastated for generations to come. We as human beings must speak out against the genocide in Sudan and Darfur and in the Congo and all around the world where it exists, because it's them today. It will be us tomorrow. That's what we're called to do as people of faith, Jan.
Yeah, and you know, Mamdani, also a democratic socialist, which is shocking. He would even appeal to any Americans. However, new poll numbers show 62% of Americans under the age of 30, so we're talking about Gen Zers, 62%, Armstrong, have a favorable view of socialism. When you and I were growing up, this was unheard of.
Well, you and I grew up during a time where our grandparents and our parents tilled the soil. They worked by the sweat of their brow. They made sacrifice. They didn't want something for nothing. They wanted to earn it. You have a generation today where you want someone to pay their rent. You want them to be expunged from any kind of crime they commit. They don't want to have any kind of responsibility. They don't believe they can make it on their own. And when you make the people believe that you can give them free stuff that they never earned, anything free, Jan, comes with a price. And they just don't realize. They don't understand the foolishness of what is being promised to them, and they buy into it. They become so gullible until the reality. This is why so many people have fled communism and socialism have come to America. They say, I've seen this narrative before, and I know exactly what the outcome is going to be. Because he lied to them. False promises.
Socialism does not alleviate poverty, as we know.
No, and it creates more poverty.
That's exactly right. Basically, what it does is that we all suffer equally so that nobody suffers more. I want to ask you very quickly about another story that we're following this morning. President Trump encouraging Republican House members to vote to release the Epstein files because he said it was time to move from this Democratic hoax, he said, perpetuated and perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the success of the GOP. What's your thoughts?
You know, that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene has been asking for. Let's give hope to the victims. She never criticized the president. There's total transparent because she read the file. There's nothing in there indict Trump. There's never been anything there that indict him. But for the victims who continue to suffer, just open up. They have nothing to hide, and just make it transparent. This is what the president promised in the beginning, when he was campaigning. That's exactly, probably a little late, is what he's doing now.
Yeah, and he hopes to put it to bed, he said. Washington Insider, Armstrong Williams. Can't wait to see your reports from Israel. Thank you for joining us this morning with a preview. Have a good one.